Chapter 6 is about sex and sexuality, and it's all of its social consequences and social meanings. Sex is a biological phenomenon, of course. Each one of us has 23 chromosomes in our sex cells. Males in the production of sperm. Each sperm has 23 chromosomes in it, and in the female, in the egg, there are 23 chromosomes. The difference in terms of the sperm and the egg is that the sperm has Y chromosome in it, and the female has X chromosome. When they meet to form a zygote or an early embryo, when that occurs, if there are two X's that join together from sperm and egg, or if there is an X and a Y that join together, then the consequence is that males form. The Y chromosome dominates. So the effect is when two X's and two Y's meet, the consequences are an XY formation and the production of males. What does that mean in terms of body tissue? It means that females form all of the characteristics of the female's primary sexual characteristics, and also secondary ones that include all of the genitalia of the female, including the vagina and labia and breast formation ultimately. And then later on, secondary characteristics that involve hair and production, increase in the size of the hips and the breasts in the female, and in terms of the male, change in the voice and the larynx, change so that the voice becomes deeper, also change in the size of the penis. All of those things occur as a result of the biology of sex. That said, sexual characteristics begin to vary according to socialization. Not all people who have male biological sexual characteristics see themselves as males. Sometimes they see themselves as females. If they do, that means that the socialization that has occurred in terms of how it affects their view of themselves, they see themselves as, in terms of gender, as females, though they may have a male body. And females, similarly, may see themselves as males in their heads. A way of dealing with the difference between sex and gender, a very simple way, is to see sex as something between your legs in terms of the genitalia, and gender is between your ears. It's what's in your head. And those are important issues nowadays because it is possible for people to discuss today the condition that we used to call very clearly homosexuality, or the business of being gay. And gay people now have rights, and increasing rights, to be recognized as fully developed human beings and not regarded as folks who live in a pathological condition, as it used to be regarded in most societies. There were laws against homosexuality. In many countries, there still are laws against homosexual practices. In America, though, we have come to recognize in several states that gay people have legitimate rights and even can become married. There are states which permit marriage. Massachusetts was one of the first to entertain that possibility. And other states will probably follow. The Supreme Court has yet to act upon the issue affecting the entire nation, so the issue is substantially one which is treated by individual state legislatures and courts. In any event, all through the world, there has been a substantial change in terms of sexual relationships. Back in the 1960s, there was a sexual revolution that occurred. And that revolution had a lot to do with improvements in contraception. A man named Rock, Dr. Rock, invented the birth control pill, and it made it possible for females to regulate their own pregnancies. And that freed up half the population, which previously was concerned with a standard in which men were allowed freedom of sexual expression, but women were expected to be chaste. And today that has changed, because it is possible not only to control conception through the use of birth control pills and other devices, but also through the access to abortion. It is possible today to receive abortions in several, most modern countries around the world. Other countries still have prohibitions against it. And in the United States, abortion is legal now. The consequence of that is much more freedom for females to express themselves sexually than did occur in the past. In terms of the number of gay folks, your book treats that issue in such a way that it tries to give you some statistics. It is a minority population yet, and perhaps always will be. But the point is, they are now recognized, gay folks are recognized and can be more likely to indicate their sexual preference. In the past, it was difficult to do so, and we used to call that being in the closet. And nowadays, it's possible to come out of the closet and declare your sexual preference much more easily. The book also treats issues that have to do with increased sexualization of teenage culture and the consequences of that in terms of teen pregnancy, a serious issue, and still is a very serious issue. And increasingly, it is possible for young people to raise their children, but as you can surmise, it is difficult, extremely difficult for a young teenager to hold a job, to earn money, to be independent, and to raise a child on their own. So teen pregnancy is still an issue. And then there are the issues of sexploitation, as it's called, the use of sex to exploit women. And traditionally, those methods have usually involved prostitution and pornography, in which women are seen as objects of sexual experience rather than full-fledged equal participants in the sexual experience. The potentiality of exploitation is present in much pornography, as well as in prostitution. But the conclusion to be reached from that chapter is that the times are changing. I hope that you enjoyed that chapter, and that I look forward to the discussion of sex and sexuality with you. Take care.